What's going on, everybody? We've got a really interesting World Cup slate here, and this is the kind of set of games where structure, discipline, and tournament experience matter just as much as raw talent. Every matchup has its own angle, whether it's a team making history, a favorite trying to prove its class, or an underdog looking to keep the dream alive. That makes this a great day to break down from a betting perspective. So let's go game by game and stay focused on what each team has done, how they've gotten here, and where the cleanest edges look to be. First up, Australia against Egypt. This is one of the more fascinating games on the board because both teams have built their success around defending well and making the most of limited chances. Egypt have already made history by reaching this stage for the first time ever, and they did it unbeaten in their group. That is a major achievement, especially for a team that has had to survive in a very demanding tournament format. The only concern is that they did concede in every game, which tells you they have not exactly been airtight for long stretches. Australia also comes into this one with some real knockout pedigree. They've reached this stage before, including in 2006 and 2022, so this is not unfamiliar territory for them. But their path here has been uneven, winning only once and failing to score in their two matches after that. That makes them a team with a strong defensive identity, but not necessarily a team that has been easy to trust going forward. The game script looks tight, and that is exactly what makes it interesting. Both sides are likely to lean on shape, organization, and patience. That usually creates a match where one big moment, one defensive lapse, or one set piece can decide everything. My lean here is Egypt to qualify, with a match that stays tight through 90 minutes. The safer scoring angle is probably both teams to score, and the card angle also makes sense based on the disciplinary patterns in both teams' matches. Next, Argentina against Cape Verde. This is a classic champion versus debutante setup, and the difference in tournament pedigree is massive. Argentina won every single game in their group, and they've now gone on a long run of winning football while conceding very little. That kind of consistency is what makes them one of the most intimidating teams in the competition. They don't need chaos, they don't need luck, and they don't need many chances to control a game. Cape Verde, on the other hand, have already written a huge story just by getting here. They are the smallest nation ever to reach the knockout rounds, and they did it without winning a game. 3 draws was enough, and they picked up 2 clean sheets along the way. That alone makes this a special run, but now the challenge gets much tougher because they are facing one of the best teams in the tournament. Argentina's recent record speaks for itself. They've won their last 10, they've been leading at halftime in each of those wins, and they've barely allowed anything defensively. That makes them a very tough team to back against in any knockout setting. Cape Verde can make life awkward for a while, but over a full match the pressure usually tells. The strongest angle here is Argentina to win. I also like under 4 goals because Argentina's games have been controlled more often than not, and Cape Verde's approach is likely to be about survival rather than trading chances. A 3-0 type outcome fits the profile well. Now to Colombia against Ghana. This is another really strong matchup from a tactical perspective. Colombia finished top of their group, and they did it by showing they can compete against quality opposition. They were not passive in that group stage run either. They created enough pressure, produced enough shots, and showed enough balance to deserve real respect. That is why they come into this one as a favorite with a strong case. Ghana, meanwhile, have been a very limited side in terms of attacking output. They have survived by finding moments, but the overall shot volume and chance creation have not been strong. That's a concern in a knockout match against a team like Colombia, who can attack with more directness and more variety. Ghana's route has been more about resilience than dominance, and that is a dangerous way to live once the margin for error gets smaller. Colombia also have the better tournament profile in terms of control. They've been creating more, defending well enough, and staying organized throughout the competition. Ghana have had moments, but Colombia look much more complete. I like Colombia to win, and I also think Colombia to score more than once is a strong angle. The cleanest scoreline feels like 2-0 Colombia. Ghana can hang around for a while, but Colombia look like the more reliable side from start to finish. What stands out across these games is that the teams with the clearest identity are still the ones you can trust the most. Argentina have the championship profile because they know how to control games, manage pressure, and turn strong tournament habits into results. Egypt have the momentum of a historic run, which gives them belief and purpose, while Colombia have the cleaner balance that makes them easier to trust over 90 minutes. Australia are the kind of team that can make a match ugly and drag you into a fight, but they are not always the side that can fully dictate the pace. In knockout football, that matters a lot because structure usually beats improvisation once the pressure really rises. There's also a strong theme of discipline and game management in these matchups. A lot of these sides are not trying to win through open play chaos or constant back and forth attacking. They are trying to survive, stay compact, and wait for the right moments. That creates a betting board where the safer angles often come from qualification, lower totals, and teams that have already shown they can handle the tournament stage. When matches become tighter and the margin for error shrinks, the teams that stay organized and avoid mistakes usually have the edge. The deeper we get into the knockout rounds, the more the bigger and more stable teams tend to take over. Argentina and Colombia stand out so clearly because they have the cleaner overall tournament profile and the ability to control the game without needing it to become chaotic. Egypt also deserves attention because historic runs like this can carry real momentum, especially when a team is defending well and believing in itself. Australia can absolutely keep things competitive, but they may need the match to break exactly the right way for them to get through. That is the difference at this stage. The teams with the stronger shape and calmer decision-making are usually the ones that survive. The biggest theme today is that the teams with better structure, stronger tournament form, and clearer control of the game are the ones that stand out most. Argentina look like the most complete side because they have shown they can manage games from start to finish without needing things to get messy. Colombia have the cleaner balance, which gives them a steadier look on both sides of the ball. And Egypt have the kind of defensive profile that can keep them alive in a tight knockout match where one moment can decide everything. Australia and Cape Verde have both made impressive runs in their own ways, and that deserves credit, but the better overall tournament profiles still point toward the favorites. In this kind of stage, it is not just about who can stay in the game for a while, but who can actually control the rhythm when the pressure rises. That is why the teams with the more reliable shape, the more complete form, and the more proven ability to handle knockout football usually end up looking the strongest. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with somebody who's betting these games tonight. It really helps the channel grow, and it makes a huge difference in helping me keep these daily picks and breakdowns coming for you. I appreciate every bit of support, and it means a lot.